Seth's character has always annoyed me, but in episode 16 he is given the opportunity to explain himself and, surprisingly, emerges victorious. The series is sort of acting as though the mockumentary episode from last week never happened, but this episode makes up for it with gripping plots that kept me on the edge of my seat. When the department fired Seth for refusing to submit to a blood test after suspecting him of fabricating cancer, I assumed we had seen the last of him. Seth now asserts, however, that his oncologist misled him into believing he was ill due to a strange insurance fraud. He is back as a trainee after successfully suing the police for medical discrimination and unjust firing. In one terrifying moment, the whole police force abandons Seth, despite Nolan being assigned as his training officer. There is nothing that I can think of that would cause me to leave a scene more quickly than a group shunning. Despite everyone's displeasure at his return, Seth chooses to persevere. He even engages in a fistfight with his old friend Miles Penn, Derek Augustine. Miles is mostly upset that Seth received $10,000 in retroactive pay because, despite being an excellent officer, Miles has been barely making ends meet. Remarkably, despite being hit in the face, Seth doesn't narc on Miles. However, Seth isn't only failing to win over Miles. Lucy is unhappy that Seth is still seeing Tamara Collins. In order for Seth to prove to Lucy that he is a good man, Tamara persuades her to have him home for supper. Lucy charms Tim Bradford, Eric Winter, into hosting at his place after persuading Selena Juarez, Liseth Chavez, and her boyfriend Raj Xander Hawley, to go on a double date. When Lucy discovers that Tamara is wearing an engagement ring, the already incredibly awkward dinner takes a turn for the worst. By claiming that Seth had extra cash from his back pay to purchase it, Tamara exacerbates the situation. Tamara stalks away when Lucy attempts to reiterate that Seth is a liar and a bad person, which could harm their relationship. We meet Tulsa and Amy, who are live streaming to their followers while driving carelessly. They collide with a reservoir in a totally expected change of events, yet they survive. Since Bailey is the only paramedic in the entire Los Angeles area, it goes without saying that she is on the scene. After that, Tulsa is arrested by the police, which sparks a full-scale conflict between the influencers and their followers. To demand the release of Tulsa, a large number of young people demonstrate outside the police station. Amy and Tulsa broadcast from Wesley Evers' workplace when he posts bail, announcing their arrival to pick him up. These individuals are made even more unlikable by their fans, who harass Angela Lopez when she is at the park with her son in an attempt to scare her. After investigating Amy, Angela and Nyla Harper, Mikia Cox, learn that she was once a talented student. They try to question her, but Amy says that her academic skills didn't get her far and that she only started to gain respect when she started dating Tulsa and concentrating on her appearance. In a scathing critique of our society, Amy asserts that women are either prudes or sluts, with no between ground. At the end of this case, Amy releases video of Tulsa totally betraying his fans, which Impleesh essentially cancelled. She launches a new skincare line and takes advantage of the chance to get to the top of the hierarchy. In addition to being a light-hearted distraction from the episode's more somber plotline, I think this tale accurately captures how young people who are infatuated with social media can go too far. An armed robbery at a liquor store is being investigated by Nolan and Seth. The gunman can be subdued by a witness, preventing any injuries. As part of the investigation, Nolan and Seth research the witness's history and discover that his name is Gene Webster, Paul McCarthy Boyington, who was just released from a prison in Nevada. The issue is that Gene was never intended to be released due to a clerical error. He must now be brought in by Nolan and Seth so that he can be immediately returned to prison. This only proves that being kind never works. I'm joking, but it's very devastating when Gene discovers. Given that he has built a comfortable life for himself and his family, he must return to prison. When Gene hears the news, he runs away from